Hi. Yesterday, one of the YouTube members who was watching the video, she wanted one topic to be covered. Now, it might appear that topic is boring, but I am going to be telling you the most exciting, most thrilling, and the most important and crucial part of this topic that can either make or break your relationship. Okay? And this topic is about, hold on to your horses, don't run away after you listen to the topic. I really want you to watch this video till the end. It's very interesting and you will derive a lot of value out of it. This topic is about communication. Now before I begin, I will want to thank this member. I'm not taking her name, but thanking her for you know uh, suggesting this topic on communication. Now, there are many times, communication is one factor, one aspect of a relationship, which can either make your relationship or it can break your relationship. So I am going to be telling you that side of communication which breaks your relationship, which you do not even know. Okay. And then I'll tell you how this factor can help you to make your relationship work for you. Okay. Now, number one factor in communication, and I am going to be referring to my notes because there is a lot to be covered, and I'm going to be covering just how much is needed for you at this point in time. So one of the things is the assumption. More than the communication, it is the assumption which creates trouble in the relationship. So let's take an example where, uh, say, a couple has been dating for a while. Now, if you take a typical Indian setup, what happens? The couple is dating, they tell their respective parents, and most of the time the parents are going to say no to marriage. And then imagine a scenario where husband has gone the boy has gone and fought with his parents to marry this girl he wants to, and he has really fought and now made it happen. Maybe the girl also fought and they have made it happen, and now the marriage has taken place. In that scenario, what does the boy assume and what does the girl assume? The boy assumes, he doesn't talk, he will not say, but he assumes that I have fought so much for her. Now she is going to take over from here, which means she will do whatever it takes so that she settles down in the family happily. She's happy and her family is also happy. Okay, that's his assumption. He doesn't say this. What does the girl assume? Girl assumes that uh, he has fought for me. He has fought with his parents for me. So, which means he is going to be fighting for me with his parents whenever that situation demands. Okay. So, the assumption is that this is how he is going to be whenever the situation demands that there is a misunderstanding or a fight. He is going to take my side and he's going to fight for me. So then she comes from a different zone altogether, that I am the most important person, which is true. I mean, you are, but then the is with this assumption, when you enter a relationship, that's where the trouble happens. Now, when the marriage has happened and the boy has got this assumption, the girl is also coming with her assumption. This has not been talked about. Soon after marriage, you see the fight between husband and wife begin because there is no clarity in what they were thinking. They were only thinking, they were not even talking to each other. Boy never made it very clear about his assumptions, and girl never made it clear about her assumptions. And hence, when that situation comes after marriage, there is always a clash because the girl is operating from her perspective and boy from his own assumptions. That's one. So assumption is one reason why there is trouble in the relationship more than the communication. Second, when you communicate, check what is your intention, because intention plays a major role in communication. You got to stop yourself before you're communicating, because when you stop yourself, you got to think, which, where are you coming from? Are you trying to, in your intention, are you trying to prove something to somebody, or are you trying to prove something to your spouse? In that case, are you trying to prove that you are right and your spouse is wrong? Are you trying to prove that his side of the family is right and your side of the family is wrong? So are you trying to prove something? Is that the intention? Or is the intention that you are testing something? So somebody might have told you that I saw your wife or your husband with the other person, right? Are you communicating just to test if this information is true, or are you communicating to test if your spouse talks to you honestly about the situation? So what is the intention behind this, behind your communication? So that's something that you need to keep a check on, because if your intention is one of these, or some of these negative intentions are there, then your partner is going to catch it. He will know, or she will know, that your intention is not pure, it's not clean and clear. Okay. So number second point that plays an important role in your communication is the space, your mental space you're coming from, your intention. Number three, there comes a time when there is some kind of a misunderstanding. You involve third party to resolve. So if you have a common friend, close to you and your spouse, most likely 90% of the time, you are going to be inviting your friend to intervene. So your friend will talk to your spouse, and you think that the matters are going to resolve. It does not resolve, it becomes worse, because when the moment you involve third party for your communication issues or any other issues, your partner feels disrespected. Your partner will not be able to trust you, knowing and thinking that you have gone to the third person and talked about your issues, right? So that's not the way. Involving friends, some people involve their families, brothers, sisters, sometimes parents. The worst part is when you involve your children to communicate. Okay. You're not on talking terms and you want to communicate something, you will tell your child, and your child then communicates. You can't imagine the kind of impact it leaves on children. Okay. So third is involving third party in your issues, in your communication. That's not going to work. That's point number three. Point number four is that whenever you are going and talking to your partner, just assess and look back. Are you only talking about complain? I mean, are you only criticizing? Are you only, always complaining? So if your approach to communication is always complaining about something, or cribbing about something, or telling your partner what's not working in your family, what's not working in your life, what's not working in your married life, then your partner tends to think that how much I do for you. Okay. But you are never satisfied. So the blame is not on you, but the partner tends to think that he or she is not capable enough to keep you happy. So which is point number four, that if you're going to your partner and only complaining, criticizing and cribbing all the time, that breaks your communication, and that's not going to happen. Okay. Point number five is that, are you always, whenever you're communicating, are you always communicating around a relationship? Because most of the time it is seen that when you're communicating about your relationship with your partner, then that's a stressful conversation. Even, Gottman has mentioned that you got to engage on everyday basis in non-stressful communication, which is about anything or everything on this earth minus the relationship. So check if you are going and talking to your partner, and this talk is around your relationship with him or her, then you are putting your partner away, because nobody wishes to get into this kind of a conversation time and again. All right. And last but not the least, very important is that when your partner shuts down because of all these reasons that we have discussed, so if your partner is shutting down, how do you manage that situation? Are you getting restless with your partner's silence? Do you start to chase your partner when your partner is in silence? That's another mistake, because the more you chase your partner in silence, when your partner needs that, time away from you, your chasing is going to drift him or her away from you. All right, so these are the 6 points which interfere in your relationship, which are the communication mistakes you make, which is why there is a, there comes a point in time where there is a complete break. Now, what is the way forward? How to have the communication so that this communication becomes more of a friend to you in the relationship? This communication binds you in the relationship, okay? And these are all coming from the same factors, okay? So, first factor was what? Assumption, okay? No assumption, please. You got to be very crystal clear, short in your talk. No offense, it has been seen that women keep talking the same topic again and again, again and again. That's nagging, right? So you got to be not nagging. Keep your topic simple, straight, and talk direct, politely. Okay, no assumptions. Second factor was your intention. So when you're talking, understand what is your intention. Your intention only and only needs to be coming from the space of love, coming from the space of sharing. You are sharing information, and your partner might be wanting to share information. So it is coming from the space of sharing information. Intention is that, right? And coming from the space of love, right? Or, yeah, these two things. Your third factor was involving your children, your friends in your relationship. You will not be involving the third person who both of you know in the relationship. What you could be, if you're at a point where things are not working out, you will be involving a professional. You will be involving the relationship coach, but not the, people like your friends, your family, your children. Okay, that's number 3. Number 4 is that you got to find out time when your conversation doesn't involve complaint or criticism or cribbing all the time. There are times you got to sit and just, have a hearty laugh, crack jokes, pull each other's legs, have fun. Okay, it should not be revolving around complaint or criticism. That's something that you need to curb. Sometimes the I mean, I would say most of the time the conversation should be around, sharing happiness, joy, sharing our problems as well, but not in terms of complaint or criticism. Okay. Number 5, get into stress reducing conversation, which means when you're talking, you will not be talking about relationship. You can talk about anything or everything. Gossip about, say, your neighbors. If you like to gossip about your neighbors, but in fun ways. Again, not in terms of complaining, in fun and happy ways. Okay, you could be talking about your the day at work. You could be talking about your neighbor, about the new clothes, about anything you wish to, minus the complaint, minus the relationship topics. So you're getting into stress reducing conversation on everyday basis. Okay. Last but not the least, if your partner has gone into silence, please respect that, because your partner needs that kind of time and that kind of physical and mental space. Give your spouse that time of physical and mental space and time, and then you both will be able to connect and talk with each other. Now, when you give time, you also need to, at that time, you don't have to be restless. You need to be reflecting on your own self as well. That is where you need to keep your ego aside, because silence time is the best time to reflect on what could I have done better, so that to avoid, or what could I do better in future to avoid this kind of a scenario. Okay. And so these are the 6 points that you will follow. One very important point is, the last one is that when you begin that conversation again, you will need to keep in mind all these 7 factors that I just told you. Okay. So after that silence time, you have begun your conversation again. You got to keep those points again, which is in terms of no assumption, right intention, not involving the third party, not criticizing and cribbing all the time, not talking about relationship all the time, getting into stress reducing conversation, and giving space, physical and mental space and time should your partner needs that. Okay, so I have, given you a very brief note on how you could be using communication as your friend in the relationship. Okay, I hope this was useful to you, and I really hope that I have been able to clarify the question that this member had in the YouTube. um, and yes, if you have any questions as of now, you can write in the comment box. You can write to me separately, and I would suggest write in the comment box. Others, get to know what the question is. It is going to help them as well. And I really want you guys to come on the live, because there are times that, when I'm talking, some question might come up in your mind. Have it answered there and then. This opportunity is not going to be there for long. When 100 days get over, then this opportunity will not be coming on everyday basis. It will still be there, but not every day. So why not make use of this opportunity? Why not take that challenge of you know making a difference in your own lives in next how many days? 92 days are over, so whatever number of days are left. Sorry, not 92, 8 days are over, so whatever number of days are left, why don't you, take that challenge and see that, okay, I'm going to practice it every day. Put things into practice every day that I'm learning here. And I will also see that by the time it's 100th day, I am able to feel that difference in me, in my life. Not about if your spouse has changed, but in terms of how much it has impacted you as a person and your relationships in general. Okay, so that's about from me for today, and I'll be seeing you tomorrow at 3:30. And if you have any topics, please feel free to write them. Okay, bye. You take care.